Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
Hey, Mark, how we doing?
Hey.
Good to see you're going to have a lot of energy for this episode.
No, I'm good. How's it going with you?
I'm fantastic.
Okay. Well, here in the Movie Draft House, we review films that we've selected as part of a monthly theme. And this month's theme is American historical events.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay. Better late than never. But we picked that because here in the United States, we celebrate the 4th of July. It's our Independence Day. And I applaud...
We should have watched Independence Day.
I was just about to say, I applaud us for not picking Independence Day. But, listen, we got born on the 4th of July. It's apropos.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Anyways, Jeff, what did we watch this week?
Well, friend, this week we watched 42 from 2013. It runs for 2 hours, 8 minutes. It's directed by Brian Helgeland. I apologize.
Helgeland.
It stars the late, great Chadwick Boseman as well as Harrison Ford. And was it nominated for things? Not an Oscar for some reason.
It was not nominated for anything.
But yeah,
which is not hard to believe.
I kind of think it's hard to believe, but at the same time, it's not hard to believe because it's the fucking Academy and they're idiots. But
okay, all right.
So had you seen this prior to this week?
I had not. And just kind of one of those ones that just kind of maybe slipped through the cracks. I'm a Chadwick Boseman fan. I typically, especially when he was alive and making films, was very interested in the stuff that he was doing. This one just kind of just was off my radar. I knew it existed, and I just never got around to it, I guess. What about you?
Yeah. Same. It was a historical piece. I'm not super into like history movies. I don't hate them by any means. Like I dislike war movies. I don't necessarily fully dislike, but I don't go out of my way to watch a lot of historical pieces, to my own detriment, admittedly. So I didn't get around to watching this. When it came out, Chadwick Boseman wasn't really a household name yet. Obviously, Black Panther hadn't happened. And that's when he came into my consciousness, because I do make a point of watching Marvel movies, although that has dwindled in the recent past. But, this is my first playthrough as well.
Yeah, so Chadwick Boseman, he's been around a bit before here, but just kind of sparingly in TV and some budget films. But then 42 may have been his breakout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on to, he's in Draft Day, the movie Get On Up, where he plays James Brown, which I haven't seen, so I can't really speak to it. And then he gets cast as Black Panther,
right.
And that's when he essentially becomes an A-list superstar. So from the sound of it, you like this one?
Oh yeah, this was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I really appreciated. We talk a lot about movies that need to trim the fat, and I think this is a movie that really did a great job of that. Like, the movie starts right as, the baseball interest comes calling, and then it ends sort of like after the success of the first season. So it really, there are things that happen in Jackie Robinson's life that they could have done. Like, they mention in passing the fact that he got in trouble in the military for refusing to sit on the back of the bus. And that really happened. From reading online, a lot of the lines in this movie, a lot of the conversations are kind of verbatim from the recollections of Jackie Robinson himself. And I really appreciate that authenticity. And after doing some research, I'm sure there's a lot that's played up for drama, but it seems like this is pretty faithful adaptation of the real life experience that Jackie had in the major leagues. So I did not find that. One of the reasons I don't really watch historical movies, I think they can sometimes be pretty boring. At no point was I bored. I actually, as soon as the movie started and Chadwick got on screen, I realized how much I miss him, and that kind of carried me through the movie as it told this story that really didn't have any lulls, and capped off with a big high. So I did enjoy myself. What'd you think?
I didn't enjoy it as much as you. And I think what really bothered me about this is Chadwick's great. I was going, just looking at his filmography, and like he had all bangers, right? He was a great talent for screen that obviously didn't get to live a full life, a long life of where he gets his flowers.
Yeah, died
all the time,
at 43, so
yeah.
Definitely had a lot. I mean, just in Marvel movies alone, I think that with the retirement of Captain America and Iron Man from the series of MCU films, I really felt like Black Panther was going to be the new
face.
Face of the franchise,
right?
That everything Absolutely. Would follow after, and just the unfortunate thing happens. Life happens, and we lose Chadwick way too early before even a sequel can come out to Black Panther, and it's just heartbreaking.
Well,
obviously, because we lose this person so young.
But I mean, there's you can make the argument that the MCU had to, or not MCU, but Disney had to pivot with the MCU so hard after his death, and that's one of the root causes for the MCU's kind of lackluster 5 years.
Yeah, it's like
4 or 5
outside
years.
of Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man, it's been kind of a ho-hum efforts coming out of there.
And I'm speculating there, but
I think it's a fair speculation because really, I mean, the sort of end of what we would call the good years is Endgame, right? And I think Black Panther was still in that movie, right? Like that was
Endgame.
Yeah. Okay, I couldn't remember.
He was. The final battle takes place in
Wakanda. Well, that's
Wakanda.
Infinity War does. Endgame is the second one, but he's in it.
Yeah, no, he's in it, and they're in Wakanda for half of the movie because what's her face, his sister, is trying to make whatever tech that she's making. I don't know. I gotta go back.
Yeah, it tells you that I didn't rewatch Endgame. I loved it, but it's 3 hours long.
It is, but Chadwick is great here. That's my problem is not with the acting in this movie at all. Even though some of the dialogue is cringy at times, just because I think this guy Brian Hegeland, I'm sorry, was kind of trying to be maybe too in the moment for the era, but it also suffers. I feel like the film from being PG-13. And I understand they're making it accessible for wide age groups. It's because Jackie Robinson appeals to
My
kids.
problem. I hear you, but I honestly didn't realize it was PG-13 because there's the whole rant. Alan Tudyk is in this, who some might know from Firefly. He also does a lot of mocap.
This is very out of the
Right.
of the spectrum for Alan Tudyk.
He often
this
does
role
like
here.
comedy stuff, but he plays the most severely racist, externally racist person in the film.
Probably the film's only villain, right?
I mean, generally speaking, there's like a couple of the players on the Dodgers are still pretty racist and mean to Jackie, but largely they shut up because a lot of the team is behind Jackie. He earns their respect. And it's interesting because I was reading about this guy, and apparently, I don't know how accurate it was, but this manager did have this sort of rant and mistreating of Jackie that it actually kind of unified the Dodgers locker room against him, and to back up their teammate and Jackie Robinson. So very interesting, and it was cool they had it. But you mentioned it being PG-13. I probably wouldn't have guessed that because having a white guy say the N-word over and over is an assault to the senses to me,
Sure.
much like a lot of F-bombs and, what's that movie that has the most F-bombs per minute?
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. It's a different, like I've heard the F-bomb, it doesn't offend me. But having the white guy yell the N-word over and over, it's like, whoa, like if I was sitting down watching this with my son, clearly we would need to have a conversation. And I think that one of the things I liked about the scene was when they're in Pee-wee, one of the players, his hometown, and he's got family in there, and the older man is yelling the N-word, and the son kind of joins in, but then he sees Pee-wee befriending Jackie Robinson on the field, and it kind of makes him internalize what he's doing. Obviously, that's probably in the story for teaching lessons.
Sure.
But I thought it was an effective scene that I really liked. Also,
Yeah.
I should say Lucas Black plays Pee-wee, and he's from like Friday Night Lights, but I mostly know him from Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift.
That's correct. That's his highlight.
Well, he's also in Sling Blade, the film we never watched.
I don't even know if that film exists, actually. So
I don't think it does. I think it's a myth.
what is it called when the Sinbad effect or whatever where you
Mandela
swear
effect.
The Mandela
Sinbad?
I'm
As
thinking
in
of
ancient-
the movie Sinbad with what's his face that people swear exists but nobody can find it.
Sinbad effect?
Yeah, just search
It
up.
says Sinbad Mandela effect. So
Yeah. It's a thing. Like people swear that they've seen this movie, but it doesn't
Sinbad
exist.
Shazam was a real movie. The clip you see on YouTube is an April Fool's joke.
I don't
But
know
there was a
anything about that.
90s made-for-TV movie where Sinbad played a genie, but for some reason this page exists. So, okay,
It took
people
the
thought
internet
he
by-
was in Shazam as opposed to Shaq?
I don't know. I don't know the lore behind the mythos of Shazam or Sinbad. I just know that that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about, hey, we think we think Sling Blade exists, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe we've been lied to. I don't know. Maybe the internet and the government are keeping Sling Blade from us. And maybe the government actually knows what they're doing, and they're doing it for good reason.
Now I'm very curious about this Sinbad genie thing, because I always knew that Shazam starred Shaq, because I'm a Shaq fan. But I'm trying to find out, was he in a movie?
Right, you're going down a rabbit hole.
I'm like, was he in a movie where he was a genie?
Yes. I swear I've seen it. I swear I've seen this movie you're talking about. But the entire internet is like, I don't think it exists. We think you're just dumb
Well, there's
and stupid.
apparently like a fake. I don't know, man. I'm not finding this movie.
Right. That's the whole plight of the internet, is that people swear that they've seen this movie, but it doesn't exist. And that's the conundrum behind the internet, is that everything stays on the internet forever until it doesn't.
I don't think it ever happened.
Shit, you ain't got to tell me. I mean, listen, I believe you. Sling Blade doesn't exist. I don't remember that movie
I'm
at all.
talking about this Sinbad movie.
It might not.
I don't
know.
think it happened.
I don't know.
But it looks like there's fake trailers that played into the thing, because apparently, like you said, it is this Mandela effect.
Yeah. Anyways.
But I've never heard of the Sinbad effect. That's why I had to look it up.
Yeah, I'm glad we could have that aside. So, and when I say that, I think that 42 here suffers from the PG-13, and yes, it's a breezy watch.
So how many fucks did you want in this movie?
It's not that I wanted fucks, right? But I refuse to believe, and I don't know, so I could be very wrong here. But I refuse to believe that Jackie Robinson was this kind of just mythic person, right? We don't get to see anything about Jackie Robinson until he's a grown man here. And like you said a little while ago, we're told that he got kicked out of the military for, refusing to do something.
I had a feeling this was going to be your critique. When I'm watching the movie, I really felt like it was going to be the things where you wanted it to be longer.
No, it's not that I wanted to be longer. I wanted more depth to Jackie Robinson. The character. The movie is 42 and it's about Jackie Robinson, but all we get is the highlights. And not even really all the highlights. It's just we get like kind of his rookie season in the major leagues. And I get it. He is a historical figure, for black people, in the civil rights movement, and that's important. But he's also a civil rights leader, and I guess I wanted more. I wanted to see more of his struggle to get to that point. I mean, we're shown that he has a lot of restraint, but I refuse to believe, and I don't know because I didn't do any research. I allowed you to do that research, but I don't know if that's entirely accurate. Is because he got kicked out of the military. So does he have restraint? I don't know.
Well,
I mean, he took a lot of verbal ass whooping in this movie.
Well, there's a difference,
he comes
right?
Hold on. He comes across as kind of a Christ-like figure here, and that's on purpose. I fully believe that's on purpose, and that's fine. I'm good with that. But I also want to see why he's gotten to that point, or what went on in his life to get him to this point. Because if we're going to tell this story about Jackie Robinson, I want to understand the man. And Chadwick's great. And Harrison Ford's good in this movie. Everybody, I mean, pretty much from A to Z is really good in this movie. I just didn't feel like there was enough depth to the character of Jackie Robinson to make me really care about Jackie Robinson.
Fair enough. I didn't feel that way. I dug the character. I think they did enough. I do agree to the point where I was thinking about it when I was cooking dinner tonight, that it could have been a miniseries. Like if you did a 2-part, miniseries, you could get a lot more into it. Like you could do the first part would be leading up to him getting the call, to go to the what amounts to a minor league team, the feeder team for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yep, Brooklyn Dodgers. Yep.
you got to forgive because they are now the
They're
Los
now the
Angeles
Los
Dodgers,
Angeles Dodgers. Yep.
and all these teams have moved since then. Like the
Yep.
Cardinals, I don't even think were in St. Louis. Maybe they were.
They-
I don't fucking know.
No, I think. Damn, I used to know that. I don't anymore.
Yeah,
They
I
haven't.
have-
They weren't always in St. Louis.
right, and so I like I said though, I think that I'm fine with the amount of detail and level of depth, but the only way you add more depth, I guess you could maybe write things a little differently, but I don't know what else. I don't really feel like I needed anything else. And I appreciate the brevity, because a lot of times these hyper serious historical flicks overstay their welcome, and they kind of go on, and they run for 3 hours, and you're like, okay. And I felt like this did a good enough job of balancing the story of him being on the team and him dealing with the struggles and eventually sort of, breaking down there, that scene where he breaks his bat in the hallway and then comes back to, sort of with a cooler head and get things done. So all of that was good for me. I was happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, and that scene that you're talking about gave Chadwick Boseman room to really act, and he takes it. And I thought it was a good scene between him and Harrison Ford, even though I thought he's good here, I didn't need to see Harrison Ford that much.
And he was doing like a shtick.
Yeah.
Like he had an inflection or something.
Oh, it's a very old timey portrayal of
What I like
whoever he's
is
playing.
the guy from Scrubs, who was doing the announcing. What's his name? John C. McGinley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I liked his little old timey announcing. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty good, and added to the authenticity of everything. The great thing about period pieces is all the costumes and the cars and like really doing that setting of the time frame that so much money has to go into just making it look like the era that it was from. All of that was good. So I don't have a lot of critiques. I mean, if I were like, am I going to watch it again? I don't know. I think it's good, but I'm not really a fan of sort of historical films. There aren't that many I go back and watch. I don't know why we thought it was a good idea to do it as a full month, but hey, I did enjoy this movie. And what did we watch last week? Oh yeah, I didn't like that one. Like I like this one more than Born on the 4th of July, to be honest.
Huh. I mean, like, and that's fair, is because this one's like 40 minutes shorter than that.
Hey, well, the acting to me is better.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah, I didn't like the acting outside of Willem Dafoe. From Born on the 4th of July.
I think this film gets caught in that, hey, we have to look and sound, not look, we have to sound like we think everybody talked during this time period in this movie. Everybody except Chadwick, right? Well, really everybody except the black characters. And so I just like it. I don't know if it came off as not authentic or just maybe it was like me thinking that the movie was trying too hard to get me to like really buy in that this is a movie that takes place in the 1950s. And I mean, I don't know. It just like I like the look of the film. It's because it looks authentic. It's just when everybody opens their mouth, I'm just like, oh, why are you talking like that, bro?
I didn't get that at all. Outside of the baseball announcer, he's the only one who kind of, and then Harrison Ford, I think. But
well, Harrison Ford, and then all the baseball players except for what's his face from Tokyo Drift. You know, they all get caught up in this. I'm going. Hey, we're gonna go out and hit the baseball, see, and you know, just that type of.
I don't think they did that once in the film. How we're gonna hit the baseball, see? You hear now? I mean, there were certainly some Southern accents.
That's what I think.
But nobody said,
when
oh, yes, old time in music radio time, except for the announcer.
Whenever somebody talked, I did like, I'll tell you this. I did like their I don't know how accurate the portrayal of Daytona Beach was. Which is not
take a bath now, see?
but I just like, I don't know, and maybe like these type, I don't know. It just, I guess my biggest critique is that everything to me is just very surface level here, and from the biographies that we get and we watch, I feel like should be more deeper. They should be deeper. They should tell me more about the person that they're telling the story about. And I really didn't feel like that here. And you know, I mean, it's not a bad film, right? I don't think it's a bad film. I just maybe I was expecting more, and I didn't get what I was expecting, and so that made me like not as I didn't enjoy it as much as you because I didn't get what I was expecting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
that's the whole
I like
expectations thing, you know. But
I like the performances. Alan Tudyk was very good here, and even though his character is detestable, you know, he is. I've never seen Alan Tudyk play a part like that, so I'm like, oh, you know, all the racist things that are coming out of his mouth, and then, you know, then you go through his filmography, and he's just like these lovable characters, you know. All the way down, and it was good. I mean, it was good. He's good here. Harrison Ford's good. But everybody's good here. I don't know. My own expectations kind of.
That's fine. You're allowed to not like it.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. I, on the other hand, will recommend this movie. I did enjoy it very much, and you know, it educated me. It drove me to learn more about him. I found some fun facts out.
Okay.
So, who was the first black player in the Major League Baseball?
I'm going to take it. It's not Jackie Robinson.
It's not Jackie Robinson, right? So, I didn't realize that. But there was a guy back in the 1800s, 1880-something, who... let me go back here and find it. Moses Fleetwood Walker, 1884. He played in Major League Baseball. And then there was a guy even before him who played one game in Major League Baseball. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Talking about Mandela effect. But obviously there's a big difference because this is in a much more like we have lots of pictures of Jackie Robinson. I think you could probably go find highlights of him, and you know, he's somewhat of a contemporary other than, you know, I think he passed away in the 80s.
Who, Jackie Robinson?
Yeah.
Let me
see. Oh, no, he passed away in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, he was...
68. Complications of heart disease and diabetes. 1972, he died of a heart attack, so...
There was a line by the character of Pee-wee that I thought was cool. It was because baseball still does it in like the cards at the end where they're telling you kind of the history since.
Oh yeah.
Where the Pee-wee guy says and they're on the field, and it's that moment where everybody's yelling at Jackie Robinson, where he goes up to him and puts his arm around him, and he's like, "Hey, well, maybe tomorrow or whatever he said, we'll all wear 42, so nobody can tell us apart." And I was like, "That's cool." It's because baseball does that now.
Yeah, they do that in April 5th. No, not tax day. Let me look it up because they do it on the day that he broke the barrier, which was April 18th. See, I don't know. April 11th.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, there is a lot of history in this film, and I think that's cool.
And the number 42 is retired. No one is allowed to wear it except for that day.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's retired across all of baseball, not just one team. A lot of history behind this film, and I think that's cool. I think when a film like this, gets made and they make it a breezy film, like it's not like what you described, a 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie, and they still get a lot of the historical figures right. I think that's cool. That's a testament to the movie making, but also the respect level that these filmmakers wanted to pay Jackie Robinson and tell his story, and maybe that was reason why they didn't, everything was very surface, is because they didn't want to introduce anything into the universe of Jackie Robinson, where people were like, oh, was he that good of a guy? Or, well,
from what I can tell, I mean, there's not a lot of controversy around him. Yeah. I mean, outside of the color of his skin, I don't see he was married to this one woman the whole time. And, it seems like he was pretty upstanding.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just good,
Right. And most of the time those people are boring. For film reasons. But it's breezy. I mean, I'm not going to recommend it just simply because I don't think it rises to my level of recommendation, but it's a fine movie. And so if you're looking for a little bit of history for somebody that means a lot to, people in the baseball community, people in the black community, this is something that you probably should watch. An
important American figure.
Yeah. Jeff, what are we watching next week?
I don't know. You picked this crap.
Oh, yeah. Next week we're watching the 2002 film We Were Soldiers. It's another Vietnam movie.
Oh, good. More war. Yay. War. I love it. I love movies with death and destruction and nothing good happening to anyone, as opposed to a film like 42 that tries to leave you with some hope.
It's directed by a man named Randall Wallace.
I thought Mel Gibson directed this. Why did I think that? Mandela effect. Sinbad effect.
But We Were Soldiers is... I haven't seen it in a very long time, but this was one of, like, when I was a teenager, this was one of my favorite movies. And simply because... Simply because I'm a big Mel Gibson fan, and he's a badass in this movie. I mean, he's just
like one image from this movie that's burned into my psyche. So,
well,
we'll discuss next.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. Anyways, don't forget to hit the subscribe button when it pops up, so you don't miss any future content right here on our podcast. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. And real quick, Jeff, did you hear the Supreme Court ruled that for all future business and litigation purposes, the company known as X will be referred to as Twitter?
Oh, hell yeah. Go fuck yourself, Elon.
So, apparently they were ruling on something to do with somebody like a loss. I don't know. It was some court case that involved X, and the Supreme Court ruled that because even though that Facebook is owned by Meta, or Meta, whatever the name for Facebook and Instagram
The parent
is,
company,
right?
yeah.
It is still known commonly throughout the world as Facebook and Instagram, and so therefore, people still commonly refer to as X as Twitter. That is how it will forever be known.
Good. Eat a dick.
So if you want to follow Jeff on Twitter,
Yeah.
and tell him, hey man, war movies aren't so bad,
Yes, they are.
you can find him at Podcast by Jeff.
And if you want to get in touch with Mark and just leave a huge stinking pile of shit on his page, because I got nothing clever to think of, and you just want to tell him, eat a dick, I like X. Actually, if you like X, go away. Don't talk to him. But if you like Twitter, go to Twitter and say, hey, Mark, at I heard you liked on Twitter. Wow.
Yeah.
Terrible. That's the worst one yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody gets a mulligan. Anyways, Jeff, any last words?
Oh, fuck.
You shit the bed again?
No, I've never pooped in bed. Oh,